After a tough day's sail, it was nice to drop anchor off Fishguard just before sunset. This is the shore in Fishguard, a nice little harbour. It dries out, so it wouldn't have been suitable for us. Lots of boats in here, a couple that don't look like they've moved for long. There's slipways up that end, and the blue building up here is the sailing club. Yes, that's a holiday home, but a nice balcony, I like that. A lovely little cottage here. Must have been somebody's home for lots of years, now it's a holiday cottage. So maybe we should start doing that in there, eh? Pan-fried sea bass and mackerel. Everybody seems to have a balcony here. A big rock and some fish, herring or something.
The water must come up very high, because that's at least 10 foot, 12 foot down.
This is the big commercial breakwater at Fishguard. That's where the ferries come in. While we're at the sailing club, of course, we couldn't resist buying a pie. So the pie has been consumed.
Oh my goodness, it's rather good.
What is it we've got?
Cheese and onion, I think.
Oh, and it unfortunately got crushed a bit in the bringing home. Homemade cheese and onion. Oh,
Yeah.
my half next. So while Mary is eating the cheese pie, we are in fact leaving Fishguard. So we've got the chart plotter is running us at the moment. We're on auto tracking, which wasn't working yesterday. Switched it off, switched it on, and it's fine now. I've no idea what was wrong with it. Yeah, so much better day. That's leaving Fishguard. It's not obvious where Fishguard is apart from the breakwater there, which again is hidden kind of hidden against the land. There's the lighthouse at the end of it. But nice coastline. It's just a pity we flew past it yesterday in poor conditions. Yeah, nice day today. Looking forward to the sail up through Ramsey Sound, and then we're going to a little island called Skoma, and it's a bird sanctuary, and there's a little anchorage just inside on the kind of north side of it before you go through a place called Jack Sound, which we came past last year and decided the tides were too complicated to go through north, but we're going to go and try both sounds, Ramsey and Jack Sound, this time round. So 3 hours before slack tide we're going to hit Ramsey, and then we're due to just go over to Skoma overnight, and we'll come through Jack Sound tomorrow. Nice on deck today. Couldn't have done this yesterday. There were green waters coming over the top of here, and yeah, it was pretty miserable yesterday. But it was a nice sail, but definitely challenging, quite brutal in places. This will sit in nicely with the new track. Jenny's pretty good on this. We've got one reef in at the moment just so I can see any crab pots that are coming up. She's flying nicely. On the ferry out from Fishguard, and we're just going to hug the coast against the tide. We've got to make the passage up here against the tide for the next 3 hours. This is Ramsey Sound just opening as we go around the end here. That's the gap we go through. There's a turbine in there apparently, so hopefully we'll not hit that. I think it's well below the surface, 42 feet. So this is Ramsey Sound, and we're just starting to clear it here. We go past some rocks here on the starboard side called the Bitches, where there's white houses. Don't know who names these rocks, but they come up with some interesting names. I guess somebody had a bad time here at one point. You can definitely see the change in water here, so there must be a rock ledge underneath here that you've got to miss. These were the markers for the underwater turbine, so needless to say we kept well clear of the area, went round all 4 of them.
Well, that was North Holm Bay, but we couldn't get the anchor to North Haven, but we couldn't get the anchor to bite. So we're leaving. We're not going to be looking at Skomer. So we're going to be heading off and go down through Jack Sound and go down to Dale Bay and near Milford Haven.
So as the evening closed in, we anchored in Dale Bay.
Just in case the water goes out any further. That's us in. Okay, so we've just arrived at Dale Bay. So where are we off to?
I think we're just going to have a wander around the town, have a look, see what's here. I was here in my university days, so I can't really remember much about it. I know we were out at the fort, and I presume we came to the pub because we were students. So somebody's decorated a little bit for the Queen's Jubilee.
And there's still more climbing.
A lovely little stream ran into a bay just round the corner from Dale Bay itself. We couldn't resist a bit of a paddle. So, where are we? We're not sure where we are, but
Well, we're halfway to St Anne's Head, but there's gorgeous beach down there.
So we're in deepest greenery here. A few nettles around, so we've collected some duck leaves just in case we get stung.
I think Paul's down there somewhere looking at the pond.
There's a little pond here we've just discovered. Beautiful. There's a few dragonflies on it as well. See if we can capture one. We won't get close enough. Oh, that's fantastic. Tadpoles. So we don't know what it is. Ibis. We gathered this was a wood sculptor's workyard. Another yacht club that has a restaurant in it. So what are we drinking today?
Oh, I'm on Warrior Welsh beer.
Okay, is it nice?
Very nice.
And I'm on lime and lemonade with ice in it. Lifeboat station at Milford Haven. Well, today, just for an hour, we are commercial traffic. Couldn't get into the marina, so they've put us along the commercial berth on a shipping, I guess it would be a fisherman's wharf, to get our mail.
What is it? Come on.
Well, this is
Video stuff. What's this time?
This is a set of microphones, radio microphones, so that we can improve the speaking on our videos.
Brilliant.
The sound is really good at the moment, though.
Yeah, but sometimes if Paul's not close to you when he's filming, you're very quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed that.
She speaks quietly, except when she's shouting at me.
This is pussy football.
He can't. Oh! This is my earphones. You know, I bought him a set of earphones so he could hear me.
Aeropex, so they're bone
The ones that sit in front of the ear, so the ear hole is open, but it doesn't work with him. He still can't hear me.
So we'll know whether you can hear me then, this time round.
What's he up to?
So what have you just got out of the fridge?
Oh my God! Look at the size of that, for goodness sake.
Oh, I told you they were going to be big. Custard slice from the
Susan and Morris, do you recognise this?
from the sugar loaf. Haven't had much time for sketching, but this is one I did of a Ketis sunset. So this is what I do on the boat in the morning, just to keep fit, try and keep my body going. We don't have many sources of exercise on the boat because we've got things like electric winches on board. Anyway, this is the stuff I managed to do, a few exercises and a few stretches. This exercise might be too much for some of you, but I normally do about 20 reps of each of these exercises. It's maybe not as much as I should do, but at least it keeps me fit. Mary does some yoga exercises. I would be interested in what other sailors do when they're away long distance cruising. Out of these, which are like elastic strap things, and I just clamp them on the companionway steps, and have handles on them, and I'll show you some exercises I do with them. They're just stretches. I use a soft shackle on the back of there as well. These sort of exercises can be quite difficult if you've got a bit of a swell running. I suppose it adds to the excitement of it all. So the last flag, we're just repairing an RNLI flag that we had. It lost the end off. We've got these flags still to go up.
And then we've got this, which he's put an end in and thought it was
yes.
the end of the RNLI flag.
I made an end, but I made it in the wrong bit of string that I had. This was, of course, in preparation for the Queen's Jubilee. She's looking resplendent with every flag we had on board hoisted. She looks really good in all the flags. This is an app we use when we're at anchor. So it's called Anchor Watch, and it runs all the time on the iPad. So when you put your anchor down, you press a button here in the bottom, and that positions the anchor, and then it tracks the position of the boat around the anchor, and you can set an alarm circle. So if the boat comes out of the circle, it fires an alarm up on the iPad, wakes you up in the middle of the night or whenever it is, to tell you you've moved further than the outside of this line. So it's just in case you dragged your anchor or something else went wrong, maybe something broke. It's a very useful tool from a safety point of view and for peace of mind.
So according to the plant Find This is a giant viper's bugloss.
And it's huge.
It's huge. You can make 2.5 of Paul on it.
Then again, of course, I'm only small.
We're walking up through the woods to go and have a look at the old place Paul used to come to when he was at Cardiff Uni.
So this is the entrance to Dale Fort. When I was at university, came here and it's a field study centre. So when I was here, we did our field surveying course. So those who were on the civil engineering course that I was on came here first year, and we did some land surveying over all the area here up to St Anne's Head. So I remember it, but only vaguely because it was a long time ago. So a bit of excitement in the mooring field today. We've got a guy who dropped his anchor and then seemed to drift and then got a hold, but he was very close to the pontoon that's over there. And we suspect he's got snagged on one of the mooring chains of the pontoon. So he keeps going, tightening it up and then powering on to try and break it out, but it's having none of it.
Anchored onto the chains for the pontoon, I think.
I think so. It's just a shame because he's not in a great spot there either. We've had 4 or 5 boats all come in and anchor. So here he goes. He's going full speed, and then he just dies because the strain on the anchors comes on, and that's it. And then the boat shoots back over. I'll try a different angle from this way. Out that way. Yep. Again. We're watching proceedings here out the side of the cockpit.
I don't envy him at all because he's well and truly hooked up on whatever's underneath the pontoon, holding the pontoon, I think. He's not going to get that free by going full.
Well, if it's one of the big anchor blocks, that we saw them making the other day. You ain't going to move that easily. So why did this guy drop his anchor and his chain? I mean, a brand new anchor like that would cost you probably £1,000, the modern anchors, and then all the chain. We don't know the answer to that, but there are alternatives to just dumping it on the seabed and causing a hazard for other people anchoring that area. You can use what's called an Alderney ring, or an anchor recovery ring. Sketch I made of it. Little loop of solid steel that you put around the chain, and then you pull it back along in the direction that the chain dragged in, or the anchor dragged in and snagged on, and it slides down the chain and onto the end of the anchor, and we'll pull it up in the opposite direction, and that may well recover your anchor. If you're struggling and you don't have one of those rings, you could try a little loop of chain, a strop of chain with a shackle in it, and tie that on and try that. That could also work. Another alternative, to mark the position of the anchor, and maybe on your chart or get a position for it, or put a buoy on it, and then call a local diver and ask them to recover it. There'll be a charge for it, of course, but it's probably a little less than the cost of the anchor. Alternatives, what do we do? Well, we normally anchor with a pennant buoy on it, so we have a little line that goes down just the depth of the water at high tide to the end of the anchor that isn't, not the pointy end, the other end of the anchor, and we can then pull on that line to recover the anchor if it got snagged underneath something. That has its drawbacks. People drive over them. We get quite agitated by that. We see boats cutting across our bow. They either don't see it or think it's a crab pot or something, and you could easily get it snagged in a large mooring field. Alternatives to that, you can actually tie that recovery line to the chain so that you could pick it up further down the chain and recover it that way. Other tricks I've seen is to actually attach your chain not to the normal end of it, but to the recovery end of it, and then just use a tie wrap from the end of the anchor to the chain, so that if things did get wrong, you can actually apply quite a bit of force, snap the tie wrap, and then it recovers itself on that end. But I think that's only more suitable for smaller anchors. So we did see the guy who had in the mooring field, we did see him heading off the following day. We didn't speak to him or anything. Headed off across out to sea. So and we hope that he somehow recovered the anchor in the future, but leaving it on the seabed is not a good thing for other people. It could end up snagging somebody else the following day. Did get buzzed by quite a few dinghies looking at all the flags. So we've got boats everywhere. Mums and dads all waiting. Fleets out at offshore. Way in the distance there's another fleet. So there must be over 100 boats here anyway. Next fleet ready to go. So with us running out of water and needing supplies, took another trip up the Milford estuary to Neyland. Now this big boy trailer here, something, we're putting that on it, so I presume 700,000 quid's worth of boat. That's probably about the right size trailer for it. So we're on a little explore at Neyland. Nice on the coast here. So that's the Milford Haven Channel. I don't know who that is. It looks like Isambard Kingdom Brunel, but we're going to have a look at the statue. There we go, I was right. Isambard Kingdom Brunel, there he is with his famous hat on. I think he built the Clifton Suspension Bridge. Okay, we're at Neyland Yacht Club. We're going to go here for a bite to eat tonight. This is their view. We've got a lovely, it's not really a slipway, but I guess it is. It's a whole area here where they can go sailing from. Yet another sailing club that doubles as a restaurant.
Rainy tomorrow, rainy Thursday.
So today's the sunny day.
Yeah.
You're getting your legs browned, are you? And you check in on the weather.
Wednesday.
So not many marinas where you get all the greenery around you. This is very nice here, isn't it? Lots of boats. It's Haven Marina. We're at the sailing club, and it looks like it's dinghy night tonight. There's some sailing going on. Nice view from the sailing club. Had the race briefing, and they're off. There was a lovely tapas menu on the board at the sailing club. I enjoyed that.
So I hope you enjoyed the video. We stopped at quite a few places coming down. What do you think of some of them?
Well, I enjoyed Fishguard. Was a nice little place to stop in.
After that long day it was good.
Yeah, it was nice to just have a break there. And then of course Dale Bay, we both enjoyed that, didn't we?
That was a really nice bay. Good holding, well, at least for us. Anyway.
The Jubilee Day and all the dinghies we had there, that was good.
Oh, the old dinghies all came to look at all our flags.
Yeah, I think they were amazed at the number of flags we had on board. We've been collecting those for years. So,
and still adding to them, even now.
And we had a couple of trips into the marinas. Neyland was nice, in amongst the forest. And Milford, it's got the famous cake shop, so we enjoyed that. And so until next time, make sure you
like and subscribe, does help us. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.